guides, and Jane and Julianne are going to help show us around and see some exciting animals that we do not normally see in Oregon. We have a beautiful break in the weather, so we're going to take advantage of that. Sit tight because it's going to be a little bit longer than normal because there's so much to see here and we didn't want you to miss out. So we'll get started right away. I'm going to pass it over to Miss Leela and she's going to guide us and show us all the great things we're going to see. So take it away.
Oh, hi guys. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so excited for you to be here. It is a beautiful day today, even if it's raining a little bit. So for those of you guys who have never been to Wildlife Safari, we are a huge drive-through park. We're actually a 600-acre park with over 500 different animals. We also have this walkthrough area called the Village. And this is a place where you could walk around and get really up close and personal with the animals. So we're going to talk a little bit about these animals and also talk about what it takes to care for these animals. As you can imagine, with the variety of animals that we have a whole bunch of different things they need to eat, things that they need in their enclosures. So they're all completely different. So we're going to take a look at all of that stuff. Now you might notice that our main logo is the cheetah. And that is because we have had more cheetah babies than any other place in America. The only other place in the world that's beat us is actually a place in Africa. So we've had over 214 cheetahs born here at Wildlife Safari, which means we're really, really good at it. So we're gonna go take a look at our first animal, which is the cheetah. Hopefully you can see it up close. The cheetah's here, so this one's actually in her hut right now. And cheetahs are one of the fastest land mammals. I know it doesn't look like it right now. This cheetah here is taking a nap. But they have a lot of things on their body that allow them to be really, really fast. So they have long, skinny bodies. They have really big nostrils to allow them to take in all that air. And a couple of really cool things. I don't know if you guys have cats at home, but their claws are always kind of partially sticking out. So they're called semi-retractable, which means that they stay out kind of halfway. And this allows them to really hold onto the ground when they're running. So if they have to make a really fast turn, they're able to grip that ground really well. Their tail also acts as a rudder, like a boat. And this allows them to really turn quickly if they need to chase a prey, like an antelope. Now here at Wildlife Safari, we don't feed them anything that's alive. So they get all of their meats handed to them on a platter pretty much. And they absolutely love it because they are, in fact, meat eaters. You might notice that they have a whole bunch of spots as well, if you could see. Cheetahs have anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 spots. And these spots are actually true spots, which means that if you were to shave a cheetah down to the skin, their skin is actually black as well. So this allows them to cool off in that hot African savanna. When they're running out, it allows all that heat to kind of leave through their spots and keep them a lot cooler. As well, they have stripes underneath their eyes, and this allows them to kind of see better. I'm not sure if you guys play football at all, and you put that black makeup underneath your eyes. Well, this is a way that it actually absorbs a lot of the light from the sun and allows them to actually see better. So they're able to hunt a lot better. At Wildlife Safari, we have anywhere from 17 to 25 cheetahs here. And we do a couple of really cool things. Today, we actually did an ultrasound on one of our cheetahs to see if she was pregnant. So that's really fun because we're able to work our animals so that they're not afraid of the veterinarian. So all of our animal keepers here are used to working our animals and really training them well for vet procedures. So a lot of our animals are actually trained to get hand injections, x-rays, ultrasounds, all that kind of stuff. We could actually do blood draws on some of our animals, which is really neat. And that allows the animals to never ever be stressed out or afraid of the vet. She's kind of hard to see, so we're going to move on to this area over here and take a look at some of our other animals that you might see.
So I know that cheetah was hard to see, my friends, but I did a drive-through before we started this. And I will share that with you once I get it all edited, and I'll post it because there were great pics of cheetahs that I got. And so you can see those better. I'm sorry that we can't zoom very well when we're in the middle of a Zoom.
Yeah,
so.
and there's certain animals too that we cannot go in with. So there's always going to be a fence between us and those animals. So that's as close as you're going to get. The cheetahs you actually can go in with, which is kind of cool. So all the keepers work with them. What's called free contact. But any one of our large carnivores, like our bears, our lions, our tigers, there always has to be a fence in between the keeper and the animal. Now, I don't know if you guys can see what animal these are.
Look at those! When I first walked up and saw these, they were all just had their heads down. I thought they were fake. They are so brilliant.
They are awesome. So these are called Chilean flamingos, and they're really, really fun to watch because you could actually get up close and personal with them for the most part, as much as they'll let you. Now you guys see that they are all eating with their heads in the water and kind of upside down, and that is because they are what's called filter feeders. So they will actually put their beaks in that water, scoop up that water, and kind of filter out all of the plant life and maybe little bugs and stuff that might be in the water to eat. But if you look closely, some of them have these special bands. They're almost like little rings that are above their what would be, I'm not sure if that's their knee actually. I believe their ankle. Thank you. It's funny because it looks like knees, but they actually bend the opposite way. So that would be their ankle. And this is that we're able to tell whether it's a boy or a girl. And that's how we tell them apart. So here at Safari, we have 10 flamingos. And these guys, they're up in age right now. And these guys live anywhere from about 40 to 55 years old. They're actually really, really long-lived birds. Not quite as long as parrots, but still pretty long-lived. So they're quite neat. So in order to become a zookeeper, there's a lot of things that you need to do. So we need to go to school for it. We actually all have degrees in kind of some kind of animal-related field. So anything from zoology, to wildlife biology. So we've all studied these animals and know how to take care of them. So one of the aspects of taking care of these animals is knowing what to feed them. So we're going to give you a little tour of their kitchen and where we prepare all their food.
Oh, fun.
Hi, this is Empire. Heads up. These are all a bunch of our village keepers. As you might see, we're preparing a whole bunch of different diets. Now, depending on the animals, some of them might only eat plants, some of them might eat meat. So we have a bunch of different areas and different pellets and formulated diets for them specifically for those animals. So if you look in here, these are what's called leaf eater biscuits. So these go to animals that only eat vegetarian to supplement them. If we look, let's see what's in here. Primate chow. These kind of look the same, a little bit different. They actually smell really sweet. They smell pretty good, and these go for our primates. So our gibbons, our lemurs are the ones that are going to eat these special formulated diets.
Like pellet food for our cat or dog, but
exactly
big size.
That has all of the vitamins and minerals in there for it. We have a couple of separate fridges. So this is fridges where our animal diets have been prepared. So you can see they're working on our PM diets right now, but all of the stuff for the AMs have been produced. You might look over here. This is for our gibbon.
Oh my gosh.
So she has lots of fruits and vegetables here. We don't give them anything that we wouldn't eat, fruits and vegetable wise. So if something is kind of going bad or something, we just throw it out and we give them all the freshest stuff.
That looks so healthy. Like something we'd find in our lunch. So wow.
So we
guys are like animal chefs.
Exactly. Yeah. They completely are. So you can see Kayla here is chopping up some diets. Here's another diet as well. This one looks like it might be for our pig.
Oh my gosh, that's a great pig. What a happy pig right there.
And then we have some meat diets. So this is kind of like steak. So this would be for animals that only eat the meat, like our cougars, our Maine wolves. Maine wolves actually will also eat fruits and veggies, but they'll eat that meat as well. Then we have a whole bunch of fruits and vegetables in here.
It looks so So gourmet.
Right?
Wow.
So
Healthy
we buy,
animal.
we buy a lot of our food, and we also get it donated from Costco. It's a big donation as well. Where we're able to get all of our food from them. So we're really lucky to get all this fresh produce to be able to feed out to animals.
Fantastic. Thank you for letting us include.
We're gonna head down to what's called our lower village, and this is where we have animals in our lower section. Okay, Julianne's gonna tag in. She's gonna talk to us about our lemurs.
We're gonna head down to see some of the primates that you just learned about, well, what they would eat, anywho. And primates, we hear a lot of people say, oh my gosh, it's so cute, I want to have it as a pet. But guys, if you had to clean up after them, or if you had to smell them, you would change your mind instantly. They're so gross. So gross. But so cute. But man, when you are the one who's responsible for cleaning their bedrooms and picking up all their food and changing their blankets, you think twice about ever having them at a house. Ever.
I bet.
Yeah. So we'll see what they're up to. We've got a whole family.
Oh my goodness. So does the water contain them?
It does, yeah. So
Oh my gosh, you guys, that is so cute.
this is one of the a lot of the times when we make houses or enclosures for the animals, we're trying to do something that is as natural as possible. So lemurs are from Madagascar, an island right off of Africa, and they live primarily in the trees. And their predators, or animals that would want to eat them, live quite often in bodies of water. So they're genetically programmed to see water and think, oh no, danger, stay away. So they have no problem with water in a dish because they drink, of course, just like we do. But the water that goes around the island here, they don't want anything to do with. So that's an easy way that we can keep them in without having to use fences. So it looks a lot more natural, and they're able to hop around and jump around and do everything they would normally be doing. So right now, our lemur family, which is also known as a troop, they're having a big cuddle puddle, which is a normal behavior for them. They have really, really long tails. These particular lemurs are ring-tailed lemurs, named for their tails. And they'll wrap their tails around themselves like a little scarf. Iris. And then we have two different moms, Blue and Martinelli, and a whole assortment of babies. We have Dimitri, Ro, Zafira, Kobe, and Cosmo are the babies, all assorted ages.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, here we go. They're showing off their leaping and climbing abilities to you right now.
Look at that.
There's a couple over there that are starting to stun.
Oh
That's
gosh.
another normal behavior. So when we design their exhibit, we need to make sure that they have
Look at
places
their
to
arms
snuggle,
are out. Oh my god.
places to sunbathe, places to groom with each other, and lots of
Oh
room
my
to
gosh.
jump and explore. See what I mean? They look like they'd be really, really cute, but you spend 1 week cleaning up after them, and you are not going to want them in your house. So it's
Oh
nice
my
that we can
gosh.
come and enjoy them here at Wildlife Safari. So when
Oh
they
my gosh.
sunbathe like this, it's also known as sun worshiping. That's another way they're going to warm up. They expose all the white fur of their belly and hold out their arms. So there's more surface for the sun to get to them, so they'll warm up even faster.
Oh, you guys, I hope you can see that. I'm so sorry I can't zoom for you. You're just going to have to come here and get eyes on this yourself because it is a hoot.
It really
They
is.
have their arms spread out like open to the sun. It is adorable. Oh my goodness, they are cute.
They sure are. And if you look over here down on the island, you're going to see there are a couple of crates. They almost look like dog crates. So one of the things that we do with a lot of our animals is training. We want, if we have to move them for a vet procedure, or if there's some sort of big weather event or emergency on their exhibit and we need to get them out of their fast, we don't want to have to chase them around and catch them up because that's really, really stressful. So we don't want them to be afraid of the crate. You can see there's one sitting on the crate right now. No fear at all. We want that crate to be something that they recognize
and that they're comfortable with. And if they go inside, they know they're going to get snacks. So the first step in that is just to leave the crate out on the island. So that way it becomes a part of their normal fixture and they're able to sit on it, play on it, and explore it on their own until they feel super comfortable. And once they're comfortable around it, then we'll start encouraging them to go inside. We'll open the door. We might put a bunch of their favorite snacks in there and let them investigate and eat it on their own. And eventually we can work up to having them go into a crate on command. So we can just open the door, ask them to crate, they'll walk right in, get a snack, we can close the door and then carry them to wherever they need to go. Much less stressful for them and for us than having to try and catch them in a net.
Right. Oh my gosh. That's great.
There's also a whole bunch of other things on here. You'll see there's a maraca over on one of the crates. They have a climbing, swinging ladder. They have some baby toys in there. And all of those things are enrichment. So another big job that we have as zookeepers is making sure that our animals are healthy, not only in what they're eating and where they're living, but their brains are healthy too. And they're staying active that way. So if you think about it was just white walls and there wasn't any toys or books or music or TV, it would be pretty boring, right? So we want to make sure that we're giving them things to do because they have it pretty easy here at Wildlife Safari. It's like they're on an all-inclusive vacation every single day of their lives. They don't have to worry about being eaten. They don't have to go try and find their own food. They get vet care if they get sick. So they get a little bit of spare time then. So we want to make sure we fill that spare time with fun activities. So we give them fun new smells. Since they have fingers and hands that are kind of like ours, we'll give them toys that they can pick up and hold and manipulate and investigate that way. We'll spray perfume or rub scented lotion around their house to give them new smells to interact with. All sorts of different things we can do. Sometimes we'll even put up mirrors or artwork for them so they have fun new things to look at as well. We have a very, very spoiled life here at the park.
All right, so we're gonna head down and see one of our cougars and talk a little bit about her on our way down to a very special animal encounter that you guys are all gonna have the chance to see an animal really, actually a bunch of animals really up close. Okay, so if you look to your right, you might actually see a piece of playground equipment in here. And this is kind of what Julianne was talking about before about enrichment, how it's really important that we always have things for animals to interact with so that they're never ever bored. So this is one of this animal's favorite toys. We're gonna go take a look and see if we can see her a little bit closer on our way to our animal encounter.
Oh my sweet goodness, look at that. No.
This is one of my favorite animals in Village. Her name is Tasha, and Tasha is a cougar. She's also called a mountain lion, a catamount. They have one of the most diverse number of names as any other animal here in North America. So Tasha here is about 12 years old, and she's actually a pretty small cougar for her size. She weighs about maybe 90 pounds, and the boys are always bigger. The boys can weigh probably around 120, 130. I believe the biggest one was close to 200 pounds, which is pretty crazy. So you might get a good look at her paws. She has really, really big paws, and it's really good for jumping. So cougars are really excellent jumpers. They can not only jump really high up in the air, but they can also jump really far. So if you're standing up, if your parents probably around 6 feet tall, she could jump as high as 3 of your parents. So about 18 feet up and about 30 feet across. So they're really, really good at moving around on rocks and trees and all that kind of stuff. Well, she actually just went inside, but I don't know if you guys know what to do if ever you see a cougar in the wild. And what you basically want to do is make yourself look as big as possible. You never want to turn your back to them. You never want to run away. Just kind of want to look really, really big and slowly back up from them. So Tasha here is a carnivore, so she does eat meat. In the wild, she'll eat, anything from small to medium-sized mammals. And here we just feed her a mixture of red meat. Sometimes she'll get chicken, fish, all that kind of stuff as well.
How did you come to get her?
So she actually, we acquired her. Someone actually had her as a pet in Ohio, so she was confiscated. It is not legal to have these guys as pets, nor is it recommended because they are as cute and as, you know, as friendly as she seems. They're actually are wild animals that could kill you.
The car coming by.
So that was one of our Kubotas that just drove by, and they're actually leading us to our next animal encounter. Let's check the time. Yeah. On our way walking down to this special encounter, to our right-hand side, you might notice some interesting looking animals that kind of look like foxes on stilts or really tall dogs.
Yes.
And these are called maned wolves. So although they're called wolves, they're not actually wolves. They're a species of their own. And these guys are found in South America. So we have two maned wolves here at Wildlife Safari. And believe it or not, they are omnivores. So these guys eat a mixture of meat and omnivore and produce, so fruits and veggies. They only eat about 40% meat. Maybe you're smelling it, but these guys
I was
actually,
just gonna say, I'm
yes,
smelling a little
smells a
something.
little bit like skunk. So
Yes.
that's what they use to kind of mark their territory. They like to pee on everything.
That's
So
their
you-
urine?
Yeah, so that is
No
the smell of their
kidding.
urine, and that's the way they are able to mark their
It
territory.
totally smells
Kind
like
of-
a skunk.
It does smell like a skunk. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so then yeah, you stay away. That'll do it.
Exactly. They're actually quite timid animals. They kind of will run away from you. They're not kind of the attack kind of animals. Ours are
Wow,
around,
it's
I
really
believe they're around
beautiful.
12 years old. Yeah, they are really cool animals. They
Yeah.
have really long ears, and their ears can actually move independently of each other. So one can move one way and the other one can move the other way.
Oh wow.
Which is really
That
interesting.
is cool.
And when they walk, they kind of walk almost like a giraffe, where like they walk the opposite
Yes.
way of a horse
Right,
does.
right.
So their trails are actually really small, so that they're not detected
Uh-huh.
by prey.
So how did you come to get these?
So we are part of a program that actually is able to exchange with other facilities. Oh, here's our female.
Here we go.
This is our girl,
Even better.
Cayenne, and then we have Rio back there.
But she does. She just looks like a tall fox.
Yes.
Huh? Same coloring.
So we're gonna walk down here and see the biggest carnivore you're going to see today. And the biggest ones we have at the park, actually. So I'll pass you off to our keepers here.
Hello.
My name's Alexi. Welcome to our lion. So
Is it okay if I?
yeah, absolutely. You're welcome to come on in this way. So we've got our two girls up on sun deck waiting to be trained, and then our boys are kind of holding off in the back. Our girls are a little more dominant, which is not how they are in the wild. So the boys know to wait their turn. Wow. But we do some training with these guys every single day. And this training helps us take care of them. So you can see he asked to see her paws, and that means we can see all her feet and make sure there's no scratches or scrapes. And we can help take care of them a little bit better.
Oh my gosh! Wow. So will they like if you're in? They take care of them. So you would do this when you're in there with them?
No, we
Oh.
never go inside with these guys. And that's why the training helps us take care of them even better.
Okay.
Because we can't go in and get hands on them to give them a physical like we would a dog or a cat at a vet. And so we have to do it with a fence in between us.
Uh-huh.
It's called a chute. It's a small tunnel, and they lie down, and we can actually do blood draw training
Oh.
for our vet.
Sorry.
She's pretty cool. So this is Matai right here in front of you, and then to the right is Serafina.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
Yeah, but these guys are really big cats. And we always work protected contact with them. So even though they know we give them snacks and they like us, they're still wild animals. And so we don't want to go in there with them. That's their territory and this is ours, and they know that.
Oh my gosh, you guys, do you see how big her paw is?
Yeah, they're pretty
They're
big.
so big.
So they're usually pretty good at taking turns. You saw that Serafina's like, well, maybe I can sneak some of my prize snacks, but they're pretty good at telling each other, like, wait a second, this is mine. And they're better at sharing. So we're gonna try to also get the boys up here. They're a little lazier than the girls are, and that's okay. Lion girls are the hunters, so they get all the food for the prize, and the boys, their job is to protect the prize. So they're like bodyguards. So they sleep a lot more, and that's so they're conserving energy just in case they need to protect everybody else.
Whoa.
So this is Savo. You can see he's slower.
Bravo. Whoa.
So if he turns around and lifts his tail, we're going to want to step out of the way.
Okay.
Boys like to spray to mark their territory.
Okay.
And sometimes he considers us his pride.
Right. Oh, did you
He's
hear
a
him?
little more grumbly than the girl, so you can hear some cool sounds.
Oh, guys, just
Yeah.
that is amazing.
If he makes another noise for us, there we go.
He's a little bit slower, isn't he? He's just like,
Definitely.
just
The
there
girls
on my
are like,
own
"Ooh,
time.
next one, next one,
Yes.
next one, snack, snack." And he's just like, sure, I could maybe.
So were these all born in captivity?
That's a really good question. So the girls were born at a zoo, but these boys actually have a really cool backstory. So our two boys are brothers, and they actually were born in Africa. So their parents were wild-caught lions, and they were given as gifts to the cheetahs. And he bred them a little bit early, and so mom passed away giving birth to these guys, and he tried to hand raise them. Now, hand raising lions is a really, really big job, and he felt he was in a little bit over his head. It can be very difficult. They have very specific diets. So he did some research, and he actually paid for them to get shipped to the United States. He paid for their quarantine. He paid for their flight, which was really nice of him. And so they started at Denver. Their sister is actually still at Denver. And she is trained for acupuncture, which is really cool. And then these guys got sent here on a breeding recommendation.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're just so big.
They are huge. And actually, so they've each had a litter, and each boy had one boy, the rest were girls. So both of their nephew and sons are bigger than they are. So we've got Arnold, who's at Audubon, and we've got Upepo, who is now at Zoo Knoxville.
Wow.
Grumble,
So he sounds like he's in stereo. Oh, hi.
So lions only have the capability of making deep, grumbly noises. Unlike our smaller cats, they can't make soft meows. They can only make those grumbles. And so they always sound angry, even if they're not. He's also trying to make sure Rob still knows that he is the king of the savannah. Even though you're feeding me, I'm still the boss, kind of thing.
Uh-huh. Oh, wow.
Yeah, even when they're happy, they still make very deep sounds that we would think of as angry, but
Right.
they just can't make small sounds.
So I really feel like I need to take this moment because I'm sure that there's kids who have tons of questions.
Of course.
While we're here, do you mind fielding
Sure.
some?
Sure.
Okay, Miss Victoria, I'm gonna unplug my mic and hopefully I can hear you. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I
Do you
can.
mind letting a couple kids ask questions if they have questions about the lions while we're here with the
Of course not.
expert?
How big are the lions?
How big are the lions? Well, you can kind of see Sarah standing there next to him, how tall he is. He's about up to her hip. And the boys weigh about mid 300, so 360, 350. And the girls weigh just over 300 pounds.
How fast can the lions run?
How fast can they run? That's a good question. Probably about 30 to 40 miles an hour. These guys are going to be a little slower because they don't have to catch their food. We give them their food. So they're not as fast as wild lions, but still pretty fast. You definitely couldn't outrun them.
We got another guest coming in.
So this is Enzy. He's our other boy, and he's the less dominant boy.
Oh, my sweetie.
Cute. Yeah, so these brothers definitely love each other.
You have another question?
How about Faye?
Okay, so I was going to ask how much these lions eat a day.
How much they eat in a day.
Yes, how much they eat in a day. That's
So today is a fast day, which means they only get trained once. So they're only going to get 3 pounds of meat, these boys, and the girls get 2 pounds of meat. But on a day that they're not fasting, the boys get trained twice a day. So that's 6 pounds of training. And then they get 4 pounds dinner at night. So that's 10 pounds total, which is a lot of meat. And then the girls get trained twice a day, 2 pounds each. So 4 pounds for training and then 1 pound at night. So they get 5 pounds total. And so the reason we feed the girls less is actually due to their biology. So even though the boys don't do the hunting in the wild, they eat first. And they will actually chase the girls off and let cubs eat before moms. So moms eat last. So they have evolved to survive on less meat, which means they gain more with less food. So if we fed them as much as our boys, they would gain a lot of weight.
great question. How about 1 or 2 more questions for the lions?
How about Marley?
How do the lions ever try to tackle each other?
Do they tackle each other? Sometimes they do play, and they do get in arguments sometimes. So they will tackle each other, mostly for playtime. But yeah, they are pretty active for a short period of time a day, and they run around and chase each other, and it's quite fun to watch.
You folks are doing such a good job of asking questions and not just commenting. Thank you so much for making good use of our expert. Okay, how about 1 more question for the lions and then we'll give these people a break here.
Danielle?
How can you tell if the lions are a boy or a girl?
That's another really good question. So it's actually really good that we can see all of them up here. So both of our boys have something really cool that's called a mane. So you can see there's lots of really long fur over their shoulders and over their head and chest, and sometimes even up to their bellies. So this long hair actually helps the boys in fights. It will protect their bodies from other lions' claws. But that's the big difference. And also, the darker the mane, the more attractive they are to the ladies because it means they have more testosterone.
Uh-huh.
So that's why Savo is the more dominant male because he's got a darker mane than Enzy.
Great questions. Thank you so much.
course,
Look
of
at your team over here, my son. These people all making this happen for us. Thank you so much. This was amazing to see this. Right. So we are going to head down to our petting zoo section of our village and meet some more of our animals there that maybe some of you are used to seeing. They have huge personalities and huge appetites to go with those personalities. To our right is the beginning of our Africa section of our drive-through. Here at Wildlife Safari, we have a walk-through area and also a drive-through, so you can get in your car, go through our drive-through, and see animals kind of free roaming in what looks like their natural habitats. And we actually have over 600 different animals here at Wildlife Safari and over 600 acres of land. So we have a lot of land that actually mimics Africa
which is a lot of our animals' natural habitat. So it's a really special feature that we are super happy to have here. A variety of different animals that you guys are going to get to meet up close and personal. We'll see if we can get some treats for them, because every time the zookeepers come in here, they are expecting snacks because they know we're the ones that bring their meals and their dinner. And it looks like one of them is actually having dinner right now. This cute little guy here is Sir Henry.
Oh my goodness.
He's our potbelly pig.
Oh my goodness.
He is having a diet of salad and grain. So he eats lots of vegetables.
Oh,
That's how he keeps that nice figure of his.
So healthy. So does he ever, like, I just see a little mud patch right there. Is that enough mud for him?
He actually doesn't wallow in the mud too often, but that mud does act as kind of a natural sunscreen for him. His favorite thing to do is lie in the sun and take naps. So what we do when he's not eating his food is we will let him kind of have this whole area. He really likes to go over in that corner and just nap in the sun.
Oh my goodness, look at these guys. Oh, so fun. Goats and sheep, are they a special type?
We have African pygmy goats. We also have, what is it again?
I don't remember.
I don't remember the specific
It's not a new
breed. No, he's not a Nubian. But you can see he's much larger. So this is Duke here. He's our dominant goat. And he's about 200 pounds. So he's a pretty big goat. He definitely weighs more than I do. And if he stands up on his hind legs, he is much taller than I am as well. We have all male goats here and all female sheep. This guy is Kermit. He is one of our favorites. Kermit is actually trained to walk on a leash, and he loves going through walks in the village and exploring new areas of wildlife safari and kind of meeting new friends. You can see Duke is dominant. That's actually a normal behavior that goats will do called headbutting. And that's kind of how they let each other know who's the boss, who's in charge, and who gets to eat first. Over here, we've got Boots and his brother Tux over there. So they look pretty similar. They've got that cute black and white pattern.
All right, so thank you for joining me at Wildlife Safari today. We had such fun, and I'm excited for you to see the extended video as well. So I thought it would be fitting for us to read a Steve Jenkins story. His books are awesome. If you haven't read any of his books, they're amazing books about all kinds of animals, and he does his own artwork in really creative ways. And this is called What Do You Do with a Tail Like This? All right, so let's get in. And he actually co-wrote this with Robin Page, not a relative of mine. Animals use their noses, ears, tails, eyes, mouths, and feet in very different ways. See if you can guess which animal each part belongs to and how it is used. At the back of the book, you can find out more about these animals. And Steve Jenkins always does a really good job about sharing a lot of great information about the animals. So let's see if we can guess. What do you do with a nose like this? This or this? Does anybody know what this is? It's probably our easiest one. What about that one? Hey, somebody's talking to us. Okay, let's see what they are. And then on the next page, he'll explain all about them. So if you're a platypus, you see your nose, you use your nose to dig in the mud. If you're a hyena, you find your next meal with your nose. If you're an elephant, you use your nose to give yourself a bath. And if you're a mole, did anybody guess that nose was a mole? To find your way underground. And if you're an alligator, you breathe through your nose while hiding in the water. What do you do with ears like these? Check out all these different. Is there an ear right here? Do you see that little tiny ear? Let's see if we can guess. Make your guesses. I wish we were in person so that I could take all your great answers. If you're a jackrabbit, you use your ears to keep cool. If you're a bat, you see with your ears. If you're a hippopotamus, you close your ears when you're underwater. And you guys, I saw hippopotamus when we drove through, and they were amazing. We saw them buried in the mud, and then we also saw them when they were out. It was amazing. If you're a cricket, you hear with your ears that are on your knees. And if you're a humpback whale, you hear sounds hundreds of miles away. We have a little goat listening to our story. What do you do with a tail like this? The goat is rubbing against my Zoom or my camera lady assistant. If you're a giraffe, you brush off pesky flies with your tail. If you're a skunk, you lift your tail to warn that a stinky spray is on the way. If you're a lizard, you break off your tail to get away. What? That's crazy. If you're a scorpion, your tail can give you a nasty sting. And if you're a monkey, you hang from a tree by your tail. What do you do with eyes like these? If you're an eagle, you spot tiny animals from high in the air. If you're a chameleon, you look 2 ways at once. If you're a four-eyed, okay, this one's crazy. If you're a four-eyed fish, you look above and below the water at the same time. They have 4 eyes. If you're a bush baby, you use your large eyes to see clearly at night. And this one's crazy. If you're a horned lizard, you squirt blood out of your eyes. What do you do with feet like these? Somebody's got blue feet. If you're a chimpanzee, you feed yourself with your feet. If you're a blue-footed booby, you do a dance. If you're a water strider, you walk on water. And if you're a mountain goat, you leap from edge to ledge. And if you're a gecko, you use your sticky feet to walk on the ceiling. Yes, it's true. They can walk on the ceiling. What do you do with a mouth like this? This is an interesting mouth. Oh, I'm going to turn this page. There we go. If you're a pelican, you use your mouth as a net to swoop up the fish. And if you're an egg-eating snake, you use your mouth to swallow eggs larger than your head. Good golly. And if you're a mosquito, you use your mouth to suck blood. That's what that crazy one was. And if you're an anteater, you capture termites with your long tongue. Look at this one. And if you're an archer fish, you catch insects by shooting them down with a stream of water. Now that's fun. Try that with your next meal. Okay, sorry, I've got to set it down. Turn a page. And that is the end, but you can't ever skip when you read these books. I'm not going to do it now because that would take a long time. But these facts that he gives about all the animals that he talks about in his books at the end are awesome. You'll learn more about the lizard that shoots blood out of its eyes, the horned lizard, everything. He gives more marvelous facts about, and in all his books, he does this. So don't miss more Steve Jenkins the next time you're in your library. He won a Caldecott, or he earned the Caldecott Honor Award for this because of his great artwork. He does great stuff. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so glad you were here. Look for the recording so that you can get all the extra stuff. And I will see you next week. Thanks so much. Okay, my friends, we are beginning our drive-through tour, and our first animal encounter is right here. Coming our way, we have zebras. Look at that. Zebras are crossing our paths. actually even have zebras out here in the road in front of us. And that's a little baby one. So fun. Sorry for my loud car. They're so close. Hello, zebras. All right, we have a wildebeest right here. Okay, my friends, look at that. A lion. Do you see him back there? It's a male lion with that huge mane. Okay, I caught him doing his private business. There he is. Oh my gosh, he's so majestic. He's got his winter coat on. It's a female lion taking care of herself. Okay, so there's something fun in the mud. Can you spy it? What could it be? It's got a big, huge mouth. It can run really fast, surprisingly for its size. And they love mud. It's hippos. There's 2 hippos out there with the ducks, but they're squished in the mud, so all you can see is their backs. Pretty cool. This is the southern white rhino sleeping in the dry cover. It's kind of cute, you guys. Let's move forward and see if we can catch different angles. Oh my gosh, there's 2. I didn't even notice that. I thought that was a wall. Look at how big they are. There's rhinos. There's an elk. This is Mr. Bison up close and personal. The hippos woke up. Chowing down, it's mealtime. This is the Tibetan yak. This is the white-naped crane. Super close. Hello. It's very curious. He's very curious. We had to roll up our window because somebody wants to just peek in, look inside. So curious. Oh my goodness. Here's the cheetah. Lounging out, basking in the rain. It's not raining right now though. So cool. Okay friends, this is amazing. We need the story behind this, but that is a dog. I'm sorry the fence is in the way. I wish I could give you a better perspective. But in with the dog is a cheetah. Is that not the sweetest ever? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm gonna get the story, tell you all about it. Okay kids, this is Miss Jolie and she's gonna tell us about this little doggy and cheetah and how they came to be in the same spot.
Hi everybody, this is Rhino the dog. His cheetah who's in his hut, his name is KJ, Kayam Jr. Kayam Jr. came to us as a single cub, so we knew that we would have to hand raise him for the first 6 months. But cheetahs are very, very skittish and they need other animals so that they can learn that they're animals basically. So when he was about 8 weeks old, we went to Saving Grace, the local shelter, and we found him a puppy about the same age. We put them together. They immediately bonded. They see each other as litter mates and brothers. And the interesting thing is that KJ the cheetah looks at Rhino as his older brother, so he takes all of his social cues from him. If we take Rhino and walk him without KJ, the cheetah will start to chirp, which is a sign of stress. They're actually ambassadors for Wildlife Safari, and before coronavirus hit, we would take them to schools and fairs, and so they're wonderful educational animals, and they love each other. They're together 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
They'll be together for life. And we even did doggy DNA on Rhino, and he's about 9 different breeds. So,
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's an amazing story. Thank you.
And the cheetah is much better on a leash than the dog.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Another view of the cheetah. It's a Sumatran tiger.